We've talked a lot about Project 2025 on this show. It lays out a conservative blueprint for the second Trump administration, and some of it is now reality, like getting rid of large numbers of civil servants and dismantling federal agencies. But Project 2025's main priority, restoring traditional families. And the New York Times reports the White House is now assessing ways to convince American women to have more children, including a $5,000 baby bonus and federally funded menstrual cycle classes. David Graham joins me now. He is a writer for The Atlantic and author of The Project, How Project 2025 is Reshaping America. It is just out today. Can we start with this? When they say they want to restore the natural family as the foundation of society, what does that actually mean? Because I look at this White House, and you got the White House press secretary. She went on maternity leave for one day. The chief of staff, Susie Wiles, is clearly a woman. Laura Trump was former head of the RNC. She's now got a Fox News show and a budding music career. You got power women all over this White House. So what exactly are they talking about when they say restoring traditional American families?
I think you're right. There's a real gap between what they talk about and what they actually live out. But, you know, they say they want to have fathers who are the main breadwinners with single income that can support a family. They want mothers at home taking care of children. They want to, you know, have bonuses for for family members to provide childcare in the home. And we can guess who that might be. It's going to be mothers. It's going to be grandmothers, of course. And they want people to conform to gender roles. They want boys and girls. They don't want, you know, anybody who identifies as LGBT. And they want everything to be based in the kind of biblical vision.
Donald Trump has repeatedly denied any ties to Project 2025. But if you look at the last 93 days, how close is his agenda to what's in the playbook?
It has been almost step for step. You can draw a straight line from what we see in these chapters to the executive orders, to the kind of things they're pursuing, civil servants, obviously. And really, those denials were always nonsense. The people who put this together served in the first Trump administration. They served in this administration. They worked on his platform committee for the 2024 campaign. You know, it was hogwash.
Then given that, when people say, oh, Elon Musk is the shadow president, do they have it all wrong? When it comes to a shadow president, is it Russell Vought, right? He's now head of the OMB, has huge power in the administration, and he's one of the main architects of Project 2025.
That's right, and he lays out in the plan exactly how to use the executive branch. He thought very closely about how, for example, OMB could become not so much a managerial center, but a place that forces the agencies to do exactly what the president wants. And what the president wants seems to be exactly what Project 2025 wants.
But all these people, these architects of Project 2025, I want to go back to this gap you were talking about. What do their lives look like? Because when I think about traditional American families, Donald Trump has been married 3 times. Elon Musk has 13 children, and as of last week, he's marketing for open potential wombs to procreate more. So who are these people specifically? Because the kind of traditional families you're talking about don't seem to be the way they live their own lives.
You know, some of the folks who wrote these chapters do, and what they've discovered is that Donald Trump is a really good vessel. They, I think, understand that he is not a particularly serious person to do this, but that he can achieve what they want. And so they've grafted their goals onto his so that they can get the vision of the family that they want implemented.
But many of the people who voted for Donald Trump voted for him because he was a business guy and they did it for the economy. Do baby bonuses and federally funded menstrual classes, could this hurt Donald Trump politically? Because I would guess that the core base who supports those ideas are not the overwhelming majority of Americans, and even the majority of people who voted for Trump.
I think that's right. I mean, they talk about this as a vision of liberty, but it's not a vision of liberty that I think most Americans associate with. And it doesn't feel like freedom to them. It feels like a step backwards and putting people back into boxes they were in the 1950s.
So what is the end game for the authors of Project 2025? Because when I say I look at Republican lawmakers and over the last 93 days, do they feel like they're winning? And for many of them, the answer is no. But I'm guessing for the Project 2025 crew, they feel like they're winning.
That's right. They want to move things as far as they can, as quickly as they can. And they know they're going to get stopped after 100 days or after 2 years when they get to the midterms. But they're playing a very long game. They just want to move the ball forward, and they are looking, you know, decades into the future at a federal government that's been much more restrained and focused around their goals. When Trump is gone, they're still going to be around.